Alright, what is up guys? So, Tuesday vlog, and I think this is one that you guys have been waiting for. We've got the Iflight Crystal versus the Lumenier Axii designed by True RC. We got some snow yesterday, so I'm just kind of set up in my garage, and I'm gonna fly out in front of me around these pine trees. That'll be what blocks the signal. And then I'm gonna fly off to the right up the walking path on the side of my neighbor's house, because I want to test and compare the beam width between these two antennas. I figure I'll start at 25 milliwatt. Yeah, 25 milliwatt, 50 megabit. Got my little heater, stay warm. So if you haven't seen, I mean, I'm pretty sure most of you guys have seen the Lumenier Axii already. But the Iflight Crystal, the antennas are internal to the faceplate. So that's a really clean design. The Axii's just double stick taped to the front of the faceplate. I don't know if you can see that. Now keep in mind, these came out first. These came out months ago. And the only reason why I didn't review them sooner is because I was working with Get FPV to get a set. And for some reason, their shipping system kept canceling the order. So it took a while to get them out here. So, thank you to Andy for sending those out, for finally getting those out after coordinating. And so, yeah, now we can kind of see how they stack up to the crystals. Just gonna be flying my Hornet. Best thing about flying these micro 3 inches, especially like in the neighborhoods, is they're relatively safe. 160 grams all up, so it's not super dangerous. Oh, this is annoying. Okay guys, so we've had a bit of a rough go with it. Fail safe like 3 times, just trying to do the first test with the tracer. Now, mind you, I've never tried to fly from inside my garage with the door partially closed, plus I have my truck blocking me, so I'm not going to read a whole bunch into it. So I relocated to the front of the garage. I'm going to stand up, and hopefully I can complete some flights, and then maybe now I can fly on the side of the house. Okay, just going to face straight ahead, and we'll see what happens. And in case you're wondering, yes, you can crash in snow without any issues, as you can see. I did take the quad, the Hornet, it's still good. I did take it off and blow it off with my compressor, and then made sure it was dry with my heat gun each time. But yeah, the crashing in water and snow, it's not really a big deal. And no, it's not conformal coated or anything like that. Got dark. Ugh. This winter testing is for the birds. Okay.
Failsafe off. Engines armed.
Okay, there we go. So I guess when I was flying through the back of the garage, that was like pretty hardcore, pushing through the garage in the truck. Okay, that was 3 passes. Let's try the side of the house. Tried this earlier and I fail safe, so I'm just gonna keep it steady, go around this pole. Okay, I didn't fail safe, but okay, we gotta go for 3. I'm just glad that my failsafe is working. Okay. So I didn't even look at the bit rate, but I'm just gonna switch to the Axii and I'll check the bit rate when I'm done and we'll compare. All right, so now we've got the Axies. You know, the Iflights, the crystal patch, it looks pretty cool, but Axies look pretty cool too. Okay. Make sure I'm standing in the same place.
Failsafe off. Engines armed.
Okay, felt the stutter. Again, I'm not looking at the numbers yet, but it feels better. It actually feels a good bit better. Okay, let's go up to the side. Okay, I got red bars. Flying over here feels pretty bad, same as it did on the Crystal. Okay, let's come back.
Engines disarmed. Failsafe on.
Okay, so it definitely felt better out in front, off to this extreme right, because that's like, when I'm flying that way, it's a good 90 degrees off, and I don't know what the beam width is supposed to be, but
Still connected.
they both felt pretty bad flying off to the right, but flying out in front of me, the Axii felt better. So I'm gonna review the DVR, record the bit rate for each flight, and then I'll come back. All right, what is up, guys? Just got back from reviewing the DVR for the Iflight Crystal and the Lumenier Axii patch antennas. It was so close that I didn't even bother writing it down. They both were dropping to somewhere around 30 megabits out in front behind the tree and off to the side on the side of the house. And you know, I've heard it before, other people have already said it, but yeah, these two, they perform extremely similar. I would say the Axii probably has a slightly better beam width, but it's close. So at this point, it kind of just comes down to aesthetics, and you know, I'm kind of curious. Okay, so something that a lot of people don't mention, you can't see what I'm doing, but let me see if there's a way that I can show this. Something I was curious about, something I just noticed is people talk about the form factor with the Iflight Crystal, but if you look, the Crystal, even though it looks like a DJI faceplate, it actually protrudes a little bit. Hopefully that's showing. It's, I mean, looking at it here, the tip of the Crystal is actually, it's actually sticking out further than the Axies. Let's see, does that show? Hopefully it does. So again, that's like when people talk about the fit and how big the Axies are, and I kind of assume this, but the Iflight Crystal is not, it's not the same as the stock faceplate, it's bigger. They just pushed the mold out to make room for the antennas. So they're, these two faceplates, they're basically the same size. So if you were curious about that, the form factor is not really a consideration because they're the same size. Same price, they're both $44.99, at least on Pyro Drone when I just checked. So again, really it comes down to aesthetic. They weigh about the same, they perform very similar, and they're gonna take up the same amount of room in your bag, because the Iflight Crystal is just, they just pushed it out basically as far as the Axies go, so they're like exactly the same depth, I guess you could say. So I guess to sum it up, as far as antenna testing, this is like a straight up tie. If you already have the Axies, definitely don't feel like you have to replace them. They're really good. They're not going to be as good as something like the True RC X Air. You know, I always kind of revert back to those for absolute best performance, but they're going to be better than stock, and they're going to be better than running Omnis. And then as far as running the connectors to the bottom, you know, RC Shim and True RC, Hugo at True RC, have determined that the left side of the goggles are more important. And I think Hugo posted a graphic where he showed that the bottom left antenna port is responsible for the most signal. I think so, if I remember right, I think. And then hopefully, you know, I'm not really one to talk about products that I don't have or that are coming out and that I have no experience with. But everybody knows the DJI V2 goggles and drone and all that crap has been leaking. And again, I won't make a whole video just to speculate on something, but it does look like the V2 goggles are going to be the same form factor. That upsets a lot of people because they don't like the form factor. I love it. You know, with the sponge foam, I love the fit of the goggles. And I've always kind of said that DJI isn't going to really be able to shrink the goggles because the screens are 2 inches. They're huge. You know, you're not going to fit those screens inside of like a Fat Shark style goggle. But the good news is if the V2s are the exact same mold, we can still use our antennas, and we don't have to like worry about getting all new antennas, new head straps, or whatever. So that's good news. If the V2s are the same mold, yeah, it was a tie. They cost the same price. They perform the same. Get whichever ones you think look cooler, or whichever ones are in stock. If you started with the Axies, because those came out first, you're fine. You don't have to switch, unless you just wanted like a sticker bomb faceplate for Iflight. All right, guys. Oh, and again, I see this question pop up a lot, especially now that it's winter. But I crashed my Hornet in the wet grass, and one time I crashed on the basketball court in like a puddle of like slush, and it's fine. I've never conformal coated my drones, and I fly in winter every year. Been flying in snow for 6 years. Crashed in snow, I've crashed in fresh water. The thing is, when you're getting electronics wet, as long as the water isn't super corrosive, you're usually not gonna have a problem. So rainwater, snow, it's all really fresh. It's never caused me an issue, ever. So yeah, I've never bothered with conformal coating. I don't really think it's necessary unless you fly near the ocean a lot. That would probably warrant conformal coating. Anyway, guys, that's the Tuesday vlog. If you have any questions or complaints, leave them in the comments. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.